Right, boys and girls, so we were talking about the artist Chris Uphues, and I think that's a pretty cool artist since he is still alive and unlike most of the artists that we study with. In his video, we saw a lot of hearts with animated faces, so that's what we're going to work on creating today. You're going to need white paper, a Sharpie, you're going to need Crayola markers, and you're also going to need watercolor paints for this entire lesson. It's probably going to take us a couple class periods to get through it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is start to fill our paper with hearts. And if you're not comfortable drawing with Sharpie right away, go ahead, start with a pencil. I think this is a good amount of hearts. Next step, you're going to draw faces in them. Again, with Sharpie. If you're not confident in the Sharpie, start with pencil, and you can always trace over your pencil lines when you are done. All right, once I've got my faces drawn and my hearts drawn and they're outlined in Sharpie, I'm going to begin working with Crayola markers. We want to work with these markers because they are water-based, so this is going to be important for this step. If you're using a permanent marker, you're not going to be able to achieve this technique. Working with a water-based marker allows us to turn our markers into paint, essentially. I like to use the thicker markers, and you'll notice when you look at the markers, there is a tip and then there's this wide side. If I use the wide side, I can get a nice thick outline by tipping this marker on its side. And all I need to worry about doing is outlining my hearts. I do not need to color them in. I should not be coloring them in. Okay, now I have all of my hearts outlined and I am ready for my next step. And this is kind of cool because I'm going to turn my marker into paint and I'm going to get a variation or a change in the color happening across my hearts. So I'm going to get myself some water and I'm going to come in and start to put water over the marker. Then I can start to pull that marker in to my heart. Okay, after I've done this, I want to think about what I want to do in terms of my background. For my background, I can use the same techniques. I can work with my marker and I can start to create rainbows, which were very significant or popular within Chris Uphues' work. I can work with a watercolor tray and watercolor paints, and I can add details in the background. I'm going to work with the watercolor paints since I have them. Now remember, when you're ready to paint with watercolors, you have to get your bubbles wet. We have to get water in them. So I'm going to paint a rainbow in my background, so I know I'm going to need some red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. The nice thing about our watercolors is they're already put in rainbow order for us. So once I've got those water droplets in there, I can come in and I can start to pick up paint. Now when I paint my rainbow, I don't want to paint on top of my hearts. I want to make sure it looks like it's behind. So I'm going to stop when I come to my hearts. Okay, and with this, my rainbow is done. I'm going to let this dry a little bit and then I can come back and touch that in. I can also dab it with a paper towel so that it soaks up that excess paint, and I can touch that area up. I'm okay with it the way it is though. Some people don't like all of the excess white space. If you're one of those, then something we can do is just come in and add some different polka dots and start to fill in those spaces, making them a little more interesting, adding some more color. And I'm just picking up some paint in different colors and just kind of dropping it down to fill that space in. I like the whimsical nature of Chris Uphues' hearts. I think they're fun. I think that you're going to enjoy this. I hope so. All right, go ahead and make it your own. It does not need to look just like Mrs. Jarrick's artwork. This is yours. Make it yours. Create, have fun.